Once a hip-hop legend with the world at his feet, now facing life's toughest battles off stage, Scarface's story in 2025 is one of resilience, regret, and raw reality. At 53, battling critical illness and no longer living in a mansion but a modest rented home, the truth behind his journey is as powerful as his lyrics. Stay with us. This is a side of Scarface you've never seen before. Despite once standing at the top of the rap game with platinum records and chart-topping hits, Scarface today carries a net worth in the red, reportedly negative $100,000, after years of financial setbacks and personal struggles. It's a sobering reality for someone who helped shape Southern rap into a dominant force. He joined the pioneering group Ghetto Boys after signing with Rap-A-Lot Records. The Ghetto Boys quickly stirred controversy and acclaim with albums like Grip, It on That Other Level, and We Can't Be Stopped, which featured their haunting anthem, Mind Playing Tricks on Me. 10 of his albums stormed into the top 10 on the Billboard Top R&B Hip-Hop Albums chart, and 6 cracked the top 10 of the Billboard 200. In 1997, his single Smile, featuring Tupac and Johnny P, became a defining moment in late 90s hip-hop, peaking at number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100 and resonating deeply with fans for its raw emotion and message of perseverance. Scarface spent nearly a year behind bars between 2010 and 2011 due to unpaid child support, reportedly owed to 4 different women. In a cruel twist of irony, he was arrested again in 2015, just moments after accepting an award at the BET Hip Hop Awards for similar charges. By 2018, more legal troubles followed. Beyond music, Scarface ventured into film, appearing in titles like Idiocracy and Survival of the Illest, and in 2015 he released his memoir Diary of a Madman, laying bare the battles behind the bars. He even made a foray into politics, running for a Houston City Council seat in 2019, an effort that, though unsuccessful, reflected his commitment to change. That same spirit lives on in his Positive Purpose movement, a grassroots organization pushing the message of putting the neighbor back in the hood. Brad Terrence Jordan, known to the world as Scarface, entered this life on November 9, 1970, in the vibrant and diverse city of Houston, Texas. His early years were marked by a blend of musical talent and personal struggle, a tapestry of experiences that would shape his journey and his perspective on the world. He attended Woodson Middle School, where he discovered a love for music and a passion for the craft. However, his path took a turn when he dropped out of high school, a decision that would lead him down a different road. As a young man, Scarface found himself drawn to the streets, beginning to deal drugs as a means of survival. This period of his life was a stark reminder of the harsh realities of his environment and the choices he had to make to navigate his path. A 2019 article on NPR.com offered a glimpse into his youth, stating, "A multi-instrumentalist from a long line of musical talent, Scarface had been a fan of metal as a kid. But growing up in Houston's South Side introduced him to a different kind of hard rock. He went from dropout to local drug dealer coming up. He also spent some time in a hospital psych ward after trying to kill himself once as a teenager." This chapter of his life highlighted the complexities of his mental health and the impact of his experiences, a testament to his resilience and his determination in the face of adversity. Despite these challenges, Scarface's journey was also marked by a deep connection to his faith and his spirituality. He was raised in a Christian household, a foundation that would shape his values and his worldview. However, in 2006, he converted to Islam, a decision that reflected his personal growth and his commitment to his beliefs. This conversion was a testament to his evolution as a person and his desire to live a life of purpose and meaning. Brad Terrence Jordan, known to the world as Scarface, has lived a life that reads like one of his verses, gritty, reflective, and unforgettable. Long before the acclaim and platinum plaques, he emerged on the scene as DJ Action, a name that hinted at his hunger to carve out a space in music. But it was when he rebranded himself as Scarface, borrowing from the infamous 1983 film, that everything changed. That new name didn't just stick, It defined an era and birthed a legend whose voice would come to represent Southern hip-hop's rawest truths. It all started in 1989 with the release of a 12-single Scarface, Another Head Put to Rest. Rough-edged, real, and unmistakably him, it caught the ear of Rap-A-Lot Records, who quickly signed him and brought him into the Ghetto Boys. Scarface filled the vacancy left by a former member and injected the group with a new energy that would elevate them to icons. His debut with the group on Grip It on That Other Level was a thunderclap across the underground scene. Though radio stations and MTV recoiled at the group's aggressive lyrics, fans latched onto the honesty and urgency. Scarface had arrived, and he wasn't going anywhere. What followed was a streak of powerful collaborations and solo breakthroughs. While still with the Ghetto Boys, Scarface appeared alongside Bushwick Bill on Cool G Rap and DJ Polo's Live and Let Die, bridging Southern grit and East Coast bars. He also joined forces with Ice Cube, MC8, and fellow Texan Devin the Dude, proving his versatility and expanding his reach across coasts and styles. By 1991, Scarface dropped his first solo album, Mr. Scarface Is Back, and the rap world began to orbit around him. His presence on the mic, gravelly, introspective, streetwise, was unlike anything else, and before long his solo work was eclipsing the group that launched him. Albums like The Diary and The Last of a Dying Breed didn't just sell well, they solidified his place as one of rap's most thoughtful and lyrically sharp voices. His storytelling was vivid and unflinching, earning him the title of Lyricist of the Year at the 2001 Source Awards. And then came The Fix in 2002, a masterclass in collaboration featuring artists like Jay-Z, Nas, Faith Evans, and Beanie Sigel. Scarface didn't just hold his own, he led, weaving their voices into his narrative without ever losing the beat of his own story. Even as he was shaping his solo legacy, he didn't forget where it all started. In 2005, he returned to the studio with the Ghetto Boys for The Foundation, the trio's final album. Around the same time, he appeared on Biggie's posthumous duets, The Final Chapter, a quiet nod from one legend to another. But Scarface wasn't just rhyming, he was mentoring. As president of Def Jam South, he was instrumental in launching Ludacris's career and also left his mark as a producer on UGK's Underground Kings album. Despite never being a pop chart mainstay, Scarface was always the rapper's rapper, earning respect where it counted most. When insiders and fellow MCs mention the greatest, his name always comes up. He's the quiet architect behind so much of what Southern hip-hop has become, building bridges between the streets and the spotlight without losing his soul. Yet his journey has had its stumbles. In 2010, he announced The Habit, a new album with features from John Legend, Drake, and even production from Eminem. A global beatmaker contest was held just to contribute to it, which speaks volumes about his standing in the industry. But before it could be released, legal troubles derailed everything. In September 2010, Scarface was jailed for failing to pay child support in multiple cases, and he remained behind bars until August 2011. Since then, The Habit has vanished into limbo, unreleased and unexplained. But even that didn't stop him. In 2015, he released Deeply Rooted, an album full of the same gritty reflections and unwavering introspection that made fans fall in love with his voice in the first place. Beyond the mic and studio, Scarface, known offstage as Brad Jordan, found himself stepping into some unexpected roles that expanded his presence far outside the realm of hip-hop. One of the more memorable moments came when he popped up in Mike, Judge's cult classic Idiocracy, not behind a mic, but in front of the camera as a gold-loving, fast-talking pimp named Upgrade. The role, wild and hilarious, gave fans a surprising glimpse of his comedic timing and on-screen charisma. But Scarface's connection with Judge didn't stop there. Several of his tracks became unofficial anthems in Judge's earlier film, Office Space, The Ghetto Boys' Still and Damn It Feels Good to Be a Gangsta, as well as Scarface's own No Tears helped give that film its gritty, hilarious edge and cemented Scarface's music in pop culture history. The rap icon even entered the world of video games, immortalized as a fighter in Def Jam Vendetta and its sequel, Def Jam: Fight for NY. Fans were able to step into his digital shoes and throw down with other legendary hip-hop figures in a high-octane brawler that felt more like a playable rap battle than a game. In 2015, Scarface's decades-long influence on the genre was formally recognized when he received the I Am Hip Hop Award at the BET Hip Hop Awards. It was more than a career milestone. It was an acknowledgement of a man who helped define an era and influence generations with raw storytelling and lyrical honesty. But Scarface wasn't content with just leaving his mark in music and entertainment. In 2019, he decided to channel his passion and leadership into public service. Just a day after losing his longtime friend and Ghetto Boys bandmate Bushwick Bill, Brad Jordan launched a campaign for Houston's District D City Council seat. With the incumbent Dwight Boykins stepping aside to run for mayor, Jordan saw an opportunity to serve the very neighborhoods that shaped him. His campaign wasn't just about politics, it was about vision. He ran under the banner of putting the neighbor back in the hood, a powerful phrase borrowed from his own organization, the Positive Purpose Movement. Through this initiative, he worked with schools and community leaders to promote education, empowerment, and opportunity for underrepresented youth. In a powerful statement to the Washington Post, Jordan declared, "Scarface is dead," signaling a shift from stage persona to public servant. He wasn't looking for votes as a rapper chasing headlines, but as a man dedicated to building something that would last. "I'm not going to be a 75-year-old rapper," he said, with characteristic candor. "I'm going to be finishing my last term in office as president when I'm 75. Though the election ultimately didn't go his way, he was defeated in a December runoff by former educator Carolyn Evans Shabazz. It was a bold move that revealed the heart behind the legend. A man still hungry to lead, to serve, and to uplift the community that made him. Tucked into the heart of Houston, Texas, legendary rapper Scarface has carved out a slice of tranquility and comfort within a vibrant, master-planned community. His current residence, a strikingly designed rental, speaks volumes about his taste for style, substance, and peace. This private home doesn't just offer a roof overhead, it offers sanctuary. With nearly 4,000 square feet of space laid out across a large corner lot, the home exudes both grandeur and intimacy. 4 expansive bedrooms and 3 carefully designed bathrooms provide all the room needed to spread out or retreat in quiet. The architecture immediately commands attention, with soaring ceilings that elevate every space, literally and figuratively. From the moment you walk in, you're wrapped in an atmosphere that feels both open and inviting, refined yet warm. The heart of the home is the living area, where polished hardwood floors stretch across the room like a warm embrace. At its center, a wood-burning fireplace stands ready to crackle to life, adding a flickering glow to chill evenings. Fitted with gas hookups for convenience, it balances rustic charm with modern efficiency, a perfect symbol of the house itself. Flowing naturally from this living space is a chef's kitchen that's as stylish as it is practical. A massive island anchors the room, not just as a hub for meal prep, but as a gathering place for conversation, creativity, and connection. Surrounding it, generous cabinetry and countertop space make it a dream for both everyday cooking and hosting those legendary Scarface-style dinners. Whether he's throwing down in the kitchen or welcoming friends, the setup is flawless. Upstairs, the layout continues to deliver. 4 large bedrooms offer private retreats, each one designed for peace and rest. These aren't just places to sleep, they're personal havens, bathed in soft light and tailored for recovery. The 2 game rooms take things to another level, literally transforming leisure into an experience. Equipped with a projector and dedicated screen, they invite marathon movie nights, intense gaming sessions, or just pure unwinding after a long day. This isn't just a house, it's a finely tuned refuge, a space that balances Scarface's need for privacy with the option to entertain in style, a place where every detail, from floor to ceiling, reflects intention. Here, surrounded by quiet streets and tucked into a thoughtful community, one of Houston's most iconic artists has found a home that meets him where he is in life, grounded, creative, and undeniably legendary. Scarface's life is far more than the story of a rap legend. It's a deeply layered journey of generosity, hardship, and unwavering perseverance. While the world knows him as one of Houston's most influential voices in hip-hop, his impact reaches far beyond the studio booth. Through his philanthropic work, Scarface has become a guardian of hip-hop's unsung heroes, using his platform to uplift those who helped shape the culture but were too often left behind financially. With the Paid-in-Full Foundation, he's turned tribute into action, offering real support to artists who never received their due. In a powerful gesture, he and fellow icon Rakim were recently honored by the foundation, which committed a remarkable $500,000 grant and health benefits to these cultural pioneers, a gesture that speaks volumes about Scarface's commitment to honoring the roots of the genre he helped grow. But Scarface's mission doesn't stop at music. His voice has become a rallying cry in campaigns that confront the difficult topics often ignored: mental health and substance abuse. His advocacy in these areas isn't just symbolic, it's deeply personal. He knows these battles intimately, and that honesty adds gravity to his message. Still, the man behind the microphone has lived a life full of contradictions. On one hand, he's a devoted husband to Melissa Leese and a father of 5, including a son named Brad who lives with autism. On the other hand, his family life has often been mired in turbulence. In 2011, a darker chapter unfolded when multiple child support cases brought his private struggles into public view. Lisa Varner, the mother of one of his daughters, revealed painful details about emotional absence and inconsistent support, sharing that Scarface had never met their child in person. Her story echoed a pattern of unresolved responsibilities, strained relationships, and court-ordered financial obligations that were rarely fulfilled as promised. These personal struggles intersected with a broader, lifelong battle Scarface has faced within himself. Diagnosed with bipolar disorder and haunted by suicidal thoughts since childhood, his mental health journey has been a quiet war raging beneath the surface of fame. Those internal wounds, invisible to many fans, added to the complexity of a life lived in the public eye. Then, in March 2020, everything took a dramatic turn when Scarface contracted COVID-19. What began as a virus led to kidney failure, extended suffering, and a desperate public plea for help. In a raw and vulnerable moment, he turned to social media and asked the world for a kidney. That plea was answered not by a fan, but by his own son, Chris, whose selfless act of donating a kidney to his father became a shining moment of love and redemption in an otherwise painful chapter. Even after surviving that ordeal, the fight hasn't ended. In August 2024, Scarface once again found himself in a hospital bed. He shared a photo, somber, simple, vulnerable, captioned only with "ouch," 3 hand emojis, and the word "grateful." The image said everything words could not, and the response was immediate. Hip-hop's greats came out in support. DJ Premier, E40, Twista, 36 Mafia, Crazy Bone, and more, offering not just kind words but a collective show of strength. The outpouring wasn't just about admiration, it was about brotherhood, proof that even in a genre built on bravado, there's deep compassion when one of its own is hurting. Scarface's story is one of contradictions, triumph and regret, brilliance and struggle. He's been a fierce advocate for others while sometimes falling short in his personal obligations. He's faced the chaos of fame, the quiet pain of mental illness, and the physical agony of life-threatening illness. Yet, through every chapter, one thing remains. He endures. He evolves. He gives. His life isn't a clean narrative arc, but a real one, messy, honest, and ultimately inspiring. Whether it's through a grant for a fellow artist, a song that cuts deep, a political campaign rooted in service, or a kidney received from his own child, Scarface continues to write a story of survival, legacy, and love that resonates far beyond music.